everybody. Welcome to the Stock Car Spectacle. I'm Ian Jortson,
I'm Nick Kinzel.
Tom Hoblet.
and we are going to be discussing Atlanta and Limerock, and we'll be making our picks later on for the Chicago Street Race. So let's start off with our diecast of the week. Nick, what you got for us, buddy?
So I went through my 164s again, and I was able to find one of the man who went to victory lane on Sunday at Atlanta, and it's the goated paint scheme with the goated body. The old Chase Elliott 2014 nationwide body with the Napa car. This was his rookie year in the nationwide series, and again, I don't like Chase Elliott, but my goodness, this goes on my Mount Rushmore of paint schemes with this body. It's just a thing of beauty.
Good.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, Tom, what you got for us, man?
It's street race. I'm talking all things street race. So I got my 23, 24 cars. I'm going to add one more to this, get my slots at Toyota, keep them in the box. The boxes look super cool. But yeah, I'm so excited. I'm all in on street race.
Hell yeah, love it. Well, yeah, we are going to the street race this weekend, so I thought I had to bust out the king of the Chicago street race, Mr. Shane Van Gisbergen. I got his Wendy's car from last year, gifted from my good buddy Patrick Cotto. So thought this was a pretty
Mm,
sweet scheme. Got the frosty and the fries on there, good combo.
hell yeah.
All right, so let's get into our top story here. Daniel Suarez is leaving Trackhouse Racing at the end of this season. We kind of all saw this coming. Kind of the black sheep over there at Trackhouse Racing right now. Um, kind of, he was the guy who started it all for them, and he will be leaving at the end of this year.
A lot of things really happened for them this year. First with Pitbull stepping away, and then I guess that's probably what really set it into motion. Besides the performance aspect of it all, but we all knew coming in that this was most likely going to be happening. For we kind of all knew this is probably going to be happening with the guy who's going to be waiting in the wings here. But it sucks for Suarez because he was the one who. He was the first guy on this team, and it was so awesome to see him get that win at Sonoma a couple years back. But at the end of the day, with Pitbull stepping out and then just coming down to performance and who he just hasn't been running well, hasn't been winning. And I think last year that Atlanta win really bought himself another year in that car. But yeah, so it's unfortunate to see. But I hope he lands in a cup ride. I really do.
It's tough because, I mean, he's still shown that he can do it even as recently as Mexico City in the Xfinity car. And he's an Xfinity champion. A lot of people said with Carl Edwards leaving, he was kind of thrust into Cup Series too soon. And he's bounced around to some not so great spots and to some really good spots. Obviously, getting 2 wins at Trackhouse is really special, um, but it just wasn't working out anymore. And yeah, like you said, I hope he lands on his feet. And if not in the Cup Series, hopefully they give him a um, very good Xfinity ride. I mean, he's got a lot of following. People will still back him up um, monetarily, and I think he could legit have another run at another Xfinity championship.
Yeah, well, I know a certain 88 car in the Xfinity series might be vacant at the end of the year, so who knows?
Do you, speaking of being put in the Cup Series too soon, though, a la Suarez, do you think it's too early for Connor Zilic?
I I
19
w-
years old.
I would think so. I would really think so that this is way too early. I mean, he needs a couple years to get his feet wet to in running these stock cars. Um, but who knows? It doesn't drive the same. He could be ready and be a force to be reckoned with. I could be
He just needs
completely
to
wrong.
he needs to clean up his mistakes. He's making a lot of mistakes. He's running into a lot of people down in the Xfinity series right now. And if he thinks he's going to do that on Sunday, he's got a whole nother thing coming for him. But so I definitely do think this is a little premature, a little early. If this is what it's going to be, you would have liked to have seen at least one more year of development. But Justin Marks wants what he wants. He sees Connor Zilic is the same reason that he brought Shane Van Gisbergen to the Cup Series. He knows that he's going to run well on the road courses, and he wants multiple cars in the playoffs. So this is what it really comes down to, is what I think it is.
That's the argument there with the Cup cars. The way they race, it's similar to the sports cars that Zilic has already had success in. He brings that much more to offer for the current format that NASCAR has than Daniel Suarez does. And he's going to have all this time to develop. He's going to get better at the circle track racing. And meanwhile, with how many road courses we got, he legit has a chance to go out and steal one of those as a young guy. And we know that just making the playoffs can be really, really advantageous for race teams moving forward. I mean, front row, you look at that, they were able to add more charters and be more competitive for Michael McDowell's Indy road course win. So it's it. I think it's a gamble worth taking. I do worry about him being too young and burning out, but I think he still has more to offer than Daniel Suarez does at this point in time.
Yeah, I gotta say, that he will be a more reliable driver to have. And look at the sponsorship that he's going to be bringing in. I mean, he's a Red Bull sponsored driver. WeatherTech loves him as well. Him and SVG will be swapping paint schemes every week. So he's just a perfect fit over there at Trackhouse Racing. I really want to see him develop more down there, but there's no way. They want him now. Suarez is leaving. They're not going to bring up a driver to just fill in that car for him. He's coming up there. He's going to run. He'll be making Sunday money next year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So and then I really do think I just can't think of any available car that Suarez could be going for this year or next year in the Cup Series. That would be competitive that he would want. I can definitely see him coming down into the Xfinity Series and joining a big marker team like Junior Motorsports or maybe even Joe Gibbs Racing.
It's interesting with how legacy has played a role in this situation where Jimmy Johnson mentions Connor Zilich's name on a podcast, and then they get rid of Daniel Suarez, and we all understand that Zilich is going in there, but we also know that Legacy is running for another charter, and I think a veteran like Suarez could show up with a team that's growing like that. Not that Daniel
Yeah.
Suarez wants to be a part of another rebuild, another building up team, but if they need somebody, Daniel Suarez can go run whatever car number that Richard Petty decides to, or Legacy decides to be in the 40s, I guess. So it'd be an interesting kind of a swap in that direction, but with and how Jimmy Johnson kind of might have gotten this ball rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a bad idea there, bringing Suarez over the Legacy. I guess we'll have to see what happens. All right, well, let's move over to our race review. We kicked off with the Xfinity Series at Atlanta Motor Speedway on Friday night. We had Sheldon Creed on the pole, and we got started early. Lap 4 caution. Christian Eckes spun the 31. Parker Retzlaff, this guy's had so much bad luck this year. He looked like he was going to be a star last year, and then this year in that 4 car, he just has not had any good luck and involved in another one here on Friday.
He's stout at the speedways, and you just kind of wish he got a little bit more chance to show it here, but caught up early.
Yep. And then the guy who we thought was going to be dominating this race all night long, Austin Hill, he had a mechanical issue. His fuel pump was not working well, and it took him out of the race.
How many pit boxes were going insane when that 21 car went out because they finally realized that all right, now we finally have a chance to go out there and do something because just how good Austin Hill's been. But that yeah, from when that happened, that opened the door for anybody.
It seemed like the only way to take it down Austin Hill at Atlanta would be to have a mechanical issue like that, or for him to get caught up in something he was never supposed to be involved in. So, like you said, it opened up the field for
Yeah.
sure.
And we had a huge wreck on lap 41. Catherine Legg was involved, hit big wreck into the inside wall. Jesse Love involved, Sheldon Creed, Sammy Smith, and Ryan Sieg, and others. Just that sucks for Sheldon Creed. I know he had a fast car all night long, and he was involved in it with a car just coming straight up into the track, nowhere to go, wrong place, wrong time. But Jesse Love, it was impressive to see him recover from this and still fight for the lead here towards the end of the race.
Just the nature of the speedway race, and especially at a place like Atlanta when it's too small to move. Little mistakes are that much bigger somewhere like this.
Yeah. Taylor Gray won stage one, and then Nick Sanchez spun after contact with the Benedetto, saved it, went into the grass, no contact, so he moved on. Brandon Jones won stage two. How about that? That's pretty rare for him to do. So congratulations, Brandon.
Wasn't
And
that like his first? Wasn't that like his first stage? Or was he got a stage
Last
one
week,
not too
he got
long
one
ago,
yeah,
last
it
right?
was
week.
like two
He
weeks
got a stage
ago,
one
but
last week, and that was his first stage win in like 3 years or something like that.
Mhm.
It's just
yeah,
that's insane.
Hey, he's stringing them together now.
yeah, right, yeah, he's
Yeah,
on the
he's
right
on a
path
roll.
now. And then
Only
just
took him 10 years, but we got him going.
yeah, right. Then just an amazing battle to the finish here. And then Nick Sanchez captures it. He holds them off and he gets his first career win. Big Machine Racing gets their first win as well. That's freaking huge for them. Um, Me and Patrick, when we went down to the Carolinas, we visited that team shop and they're on the RCR campus. It's just a small little 2-car garage and they're just working on these cars and it's insane. So happy to see small teams like that get a big victory.
It's an opportunity for the small teams with the speedway races, and the small teams are licking their fingers, licking their chops when they reconfigured Atlanta. They're like, oh, we just got two more chances to come in here and really do some things. I was worried about how this team would struggle with Nick Sanchez versus having Parker Kligerman in the year before. But Nick has done a really, really good job in this car overall, and getting a win so important. Locked into the playoffs, they can focus on building forward now, and that's really good for them.
Where was he in the standings before this race? Was he on the outside looking in, or was he in?
Oh,
Ooh, good
let
question.
me look here again.
Right now he's 10th in driver points. So
I don't know if
could have
it's an
been on
easy
the
way to tell on the
inside.
NASCAR site. He moved up 4 points
Oh, so
or
he was
four
on the
spots.
just on the outside then. Because it's
So
12
yeah.
drivers
So he
for
was
the
on the
playoffs.
outside, and now
Yeah.
yep.
Mhm.
So he was on the outside, and now because of winning that race, he is locked himself into the playoffs. And just go back to that spin that he had earlier in the race. That one, if he could have gotten significant damage there, and his day could have been done, and we would be talking about somebody else winning this race. But they kept it composed, and he went up there and he got it done. He had some great restarts there at the end, and he was able to fend them off. So that's awesome for Nick Sanchez. And again, this is what happens when a guy like Austin Hill it can't compete in this race. It opens up the opportunities for somebody else, and he took full on advantage of it. So great drive by the 48.
Yeah. Love to see it for him. All right, well, let's move over to the Truck Series race at Limerock Park, the inaugural race. Guys, I was not too impressed with this racetrack. We've seen the Truck Series go to some pretty interesting tracks, but this one it was not it. It didn't really produce a whole lot of racing.
This one's
It
fun
was
on iRacing.
okay.
It's a little bit fun to drive,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, because
it didn't
it's
produce
one
a
of the
good race,
easier
and that's
road
okay.
courses.
But also, I would argue that this is the perfect type of racetrack for the truck series. Uh, Go to these smaller local venues. You still need to get a road course in here. This is a great little venue, but send the truck series to short tracks. Send them more along the lines with all the modified races, and don't send them with the big guys, the big teams, and get these guys more one-off type events, and bigger events to smaller venues like the truck series can still be a national touring series. Uh,
It was
but with
it was
smaller events
packed.
and make them be the focus. Exactly. People showed up
Yeah.
for this.
People showed up, and there's
Yeah.
no. I think they mentioned it 350 times on the broadcast that there's no bleachers there, and that everybody has to bring their lawn chairs out. But for as boring as that race was, people came out for it because it's the first time they raced in the state of Connecticut or something like that, and so they definitely showed out for it.
Yeah, no, that's huge. Just huge for the racing fans out there. They finally got to see the product on track that they love watching. So really cool. But my big thing is bring back Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. That was, in my opinion, I think that's the best road course that NASCAR's ever raced at. It
That
just
is a
produced
solid
so
place. I mean,
many great spots to pass. We've had so many exciting finishes in that final turn there. Just bring it back. I can't. Oh man, a Cup Series race there would feed families for generations.
But congrats to Corey Heim
Yeah, dude,
leading
Yeah,
99
for
laps.
real.
He led 100
dominated.
laps,
Yeah, he won
but
both
he
stages.
absolutely destroyed it. And there's not much more you need to say. He drove away from the field, even with some stout
That,
competition, some road course ringers in there. Corey Heim just on another level.
that was the easiest pick, and the easiest win I've gotten in our point system all year.
Oh my dear
Nobody came
goodness.
close to him.
Thank goodness.
Nobody came close to him.
Majeski, he was top five all day. He was kind of fighting there, but no, but Corey Heim, dude, he was on a
Yeah, he
whole
was
nother
top
level.
5, 55 seconds back.
At least it only paid you 15 points, so didn't get too far out
Yeah.
of the
Yeah,
race.
already whooping our ass.
Hmm.
All right, so let's move over to the Cup Series race on Saturday night. Back in Atlanta, Joey Logano was on the pole for this one, and then we had an early spin for Christopher Bell. Blaney was involved, hitting that turn four wall pretty dang hard. Bubba, Dinger, Larson, and Austin Dillon all involved in this one. This is what you got to expect here at this kind of track. And then Cindric won stage one. And then we had the big one on lap
Oh,
69, took out almost half of the field here. Byron, Hamlin, Gregson, Cindric, Bush, Briscoe, Logano, Larson, just to name a few. Just to name a
I
few.
I want to give a shout out to NASCAR for amending their wrecked car policy this season because in the old policy, basically all 20 of those cars would be out of the race, um, which may have been good for Atlanta Motor Speedway, but being able to see some cars come back, like Carson Hocevar, he was legit up there back towards the end of the race when he had it nosed into the wall and pretty significant damage on that, just to name one or the other. But also give these guys an opportunity, like Denny Hamlin. They stapled on a new rear bumper, and then he went back out on the track for three laps and passed three more guys. If you can get the car working good enough, go as far as you can. Don't lock these people in the garage. And I think the new policy works. I think the old policy was a little bit of overreaction from Matt Kenseth and Joey Logano all those years ago, and this policy makes just a lot more sense.
Yeah, without a doubt. It was good to see them come back out.
And I was
Uh,
sitting on Kyle Busch's onboard camera for this wreck when it started. There was literal daylight. Literal, he had found his way and then just got clipped at the last second. It was shouting.
yeah, it's the way she
Ugh,
goes, man.
devastated. Because if he
Uh,
gets through that, he's competitive. He is. With
yeah,
how thinned
because
out the
everyone
field
else
was,
is out. Yeah.
I mean, the inches, game of inches with Nick Sanchez spinning through the infield, not ripping off his splitter, and then on the other side, game of inches getting clipped as you get through 95% of the wreck. Really tough to see.
That's the name of the game, man.
Ugh.
Tyler Reddick won stage two in a nice photo finish with Chase Elliott there. It took them a little bit to figure out who won that, but good for old 45. And then RFK Racing, they had a very, very strong night. All three of their cars were battling in the top 10 there. Brad Keselowski looked good going back and forth with those Hendrick cars. We just had some amazing battles all over. This may have been the best race in the next gen car. May people are even saying this may have been the best Atlanta race.
I mean, maybe it was the
Oh,
best new
yeah.
Atlanta race, but like the still, it kind of sours me a little bit that half the cars weren't competitive anymore, which it created more of that space for them to be able to move and take runs and whatnot. I mean, the last stage really was just incredible with all the racing moves everybody's able to make. But I got to put an asterisk on this one because you're missing a ton of the contenders. The only winners in the field were Kyle Larson, or maybe Kyle Larson and Shane Van Gisbergen by the end of the race. So, and then Kyle Larson still wasn't even that competitive. So, like, I got to put an asterisk on that. It was incredible to watch for who was left, but a lot of that came because a lot of the top contenders and big names were already out of the race.
I don't know. To me, it felt like a traditional super speedway race is what a super speedway race should have been compared to the fuel saving bullshit that we get at Daytona and Talladega. I would put Atlanta at the top of the chain right now, and it's just crazy that a mile and a half racetrack is putting on the best super speedway racing that we've seen, and that's really just a big joke and a big slap in the face to NASCAR because that just means they got to go figure out what's going on at Daytona and Talladega because this race it blew both of those races out of the water and it wasn't even close.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you there. It's super speedway racing is not like how it used to be. And even my dad was saying, like, he called me the next day after this race. He was like, "That's how super speedway racing should be. That was fun to watch."
For sure. I mean, they and Daytona Talladega are kind of NASCAR's brand. It's what they're known for, and the last few
Yeah.
years have just been kind of dull, and it's just been a different kind of racing. And this was more what I remember from a few years back. Not to be the back in my day NASCAR guy, because I don't want to be. I appreciate all different kinds of styles here, but this is the feel. This is the type of racing you want to see, and the car and the restrictions they put on it for Daytona and Talladega have really cost that product. And in the long run, that could cost fans. It really could, because those are the races growing up when my friends would be like, "Oh, you watch NASCAR?" I'd be like, "Oh, well, Talladega's coming up this week. Watch this one. This one's gonna be crazy," and they'd enjoy it. And now I can't even be like, "Well, yeah, let's watch Talladega. It kind of looks cool. Nothing happens, but it looks cool."
Yeah, at least they're
So
passing each other 10 million times in one race.
yeah, yeah. So this truly, I mean, it passed the eye test, and it passed the field
It
test.
I as much as I love it, it also in the back of my head scares me a little bit because what does NASCAR like to do when they see something good on the track? They want to do more
Overreact.
of it.
Hmm.
So they want to overreact and do more of it. So it worries me about some of these other mile and a half on the schedule. It's like, well, look at what we did at Atlanta, and look at what can happen here in just a couple years, and the show that we just put on. Let's go take this everywhere,
Do it in
and
Texas.
yep, and
Do it in
I will
Texas. I'll be
be.
happy. Don't do it anywhere else.
I keep hearing Kansas, man. I keep hearing Kansas, and I will be so sad when that actually happens.
If you do it to Texas and then give Atlanta and Texas one race a year, both get that much more exciting.
Yeah, that would make
They just
Texas a
need to
pretty
leave
good
it.
race.
But then
They need
SMI loses somehow two races or something. So
They need to
that's tough
leave
too.
Atlanta as Atlanta. Don't take it anywhere else. It's its own unique racetrack,
Mhm.
and that's what makes it fun. Because if they start doing this to every single mile and a half track, then Atlanta's going to start losing fans going there because they're like, oh well, it's everywhere now, so we don't have to travel there to see this kind of uniqueness. So I hope they just keep it at Atlanta. But again, this is NASCAR we're talking about, and they love to overreact when something actually goes
Yeah.
well.
I just hope that they try to look at the car before they start looking at ripping up other tracks. Because there's things that you can do with the car at Daytona and Talladega to keep it safe, but keep it more competitive. And right now, what they're doing is not working. So hopefully, they got a new rules package for next season. I hope they're not just sitting on their hands, uh, because they're like, "Well, look at Atlanta; it's great." And it's like, yeah, but look at these other four races that you say are so important to your brand, and you're not doing anything to actually make them be good.
Yeah,
They may look good, they aren't good.
it's not what it used to be. Like, yeah, and like you said, I don't want to be the back in my day, punk ass kids never understood what real super speedway racing was.
But like, I haven't been impressed. The Daytona 500 and winning it is supposed to be a feat. The past few years, I have not been impressed with the Daytona 500. You don't watch Denny Hamlin
Who's
just
the
pull
biggest
back
field?
and sit in the back of the track and then drive up to the front when he feels it's time. That doesn't happen anymore. You don't see that anymore,
Yeah,
and it feels like a spin of the roulette wheel on what number the ball's going to land on. oh, you're the winner. It's not that impressive. Now, if Kyle wins it next year, I'm gonna be like, that was the best drive I've ever seen. He did everything. It was all skill. But you play me this clip, I'll be like, all right, that hairy guy is right. So,
There you go.
uh, it's losing its skill, and it's truly just kind of luck of the draw, and how little time you can spend on pit road. We didn't have green flag stops this time.
Yeah.
That was important. It was really good. We saw different strategies. We saw people take tires. We saw people wait on fuel. We saw people fill it up, stay out. Handling mattered. Handling doesn't matter at these other places.
Yeah, for real. But guys, towards the end of the race here, we had some amazing back and forth action with Elliott, Bowman, and Kozlowski, and it all led up to Chase Elliott winning at his home track. Amazing race, and I feel like that's just good for the sport. You get the most popular driver winning at his home track after a hard fought battle, and he goes out and hears all those cheers. Nick, you were saying that we were watching the race on Saturday. You said that was the most excited you've ever seen Chase Elliott.
He actually seemed to show some emotion, and it's about damn time. Chase Elliott went into the grandstand. When have you ever seen that before? It just meant more to him. He wanted his home track. I mean, yeah, they've had this losing streak going back to last season, but he finally showed some emotion, and it was cool to see. As much as I don't like the guy, it was an important moment for the sport right there when your most popular driver wins at his home track. So it was cool. I'm gutted for Keselowski, but he literally said it best. He said just needed a teammate there. He was finally was looking like, oh my god, Brad's gonna do it. Nope. Still sitting 33rd in points or something like that. Still got to go win a race. He had it and then he didn't.
Yeah.
I'll never feel bad for Brad. Not shame, no shame in saying it. He's a nice guy. I don't care. I mean, Bowman, props to Bowman for not having the realization to not push him. And for Chase, yeah, great visuals. Him getting out of the car with the fireworks going off behind him, chef's kiss. Good job. And having the kid who made the paint scheme come run out on the track. And I'll say that Chase almost wasn't boring. You commend this guy for doing so little. He gets out of the car and he's like, "Yeah, this one's really special to me. Thanks." And everyone's like, "He showed emotion." And it's like, yeah, he said it was special and he was smiling. Cool. He almost wasn't boring.
Yeah.
That's my take on it. I was like, I don't know where everybody's talking and how much emotion he was showing, but like, damn.
It was emotion. That was the most emotion you will see out of Chase Elliott.
Mm-hmm.
That's why everyone was so surprised.
That
For
dude
sure,
won a
for sure.
championship and it was like cool. That dude literally
Yeah.
won a championship. It was
Yeah.
like awesome. It was almost like when Kyle Busch won the 2019 championship. He was like, "Cool, awesome." He did not give a shit.
Hey man,
It just looked
I
like
had
Kyle
all
Busch
the
did not give a
emotion for
Oh,
Kyle Busch.
yeah. That's
What
where
I
it all went. It went to you and Dalton.
Well, man, could you imagine being Alex Bowman getting out of your car and Jeff Gordon just staring you down like a hawk if you push the 6 car to the win without realizing that
Mhm.
oh, your golden boy Chase Elliott was gonna go get it done? Woo! I would
Yeah,
not want to have been
the
him. So
headlines
good
would be
on
different
Bowman
this
for
week.
realizing that.
The
Yeah.
headlines would be Daniel Suarez to the 48 if that happened.
Oh man. But yeah, congrats to Chase Elliott. I say this is probably one of the first times where I haven't been pissed off about an Elliott win. So congrats.
That's scary for the field too, because Chase Elliott, he might not be getting the wins, but he's scary consistent. So if he
He's
can keep the
awake.
consistency going, he's awake.
I
Mm-hmm.
mean, where is he in points right now?
I think
Fourth,
he's
second,
first.
second. He's second in
He
points.
is okay.
Yeah,
This is his
yeah,
first win of the
he's
season.
damn consistent, and he's second in
Chase
points. He's damn consistent.
Scary.
Chase Elliott, 2-time champion. Anybody like? Come on, write him in right now. If he's gonna be this consistent,
It's very
nothing's gonna
possible.
phase him, and he can sneak a win in here or there. Give him the championship.
Yeah. I mean,
Clock it. Put me on NASCAR
I
age
feel like
like
that's what
milk
he
when it
did,
happens.
and
But
yeah, I feel like that's what he did in 2020. Is kind of like he was just kind of there all season. Gets into Phoenix, and he's like, "All right, let's do it. how it goes for some of these guys.
Yeah. But unlike Joey Logano, this dude is just super consistent all year round. He's not getting the wins, but yeah, he'll be up there in points.
He's damn near the points leader. He's 37 points back.
Mm-hmm.
That's not nothing. I mean, William Byron has a bad race at Chicago when it rains again and parks it under the tire barrier. And Chase Elliott tiptoes around. There you go. There's 35 points.
Right. So yeah, who knows? Maybe it'll be a battle for the Hendrick boys for the regular season championship here in about a month.
It's setting up to be.
But guys,
most of the Hendrick boys.
Yeah. But let's take a quick break here. When we come back, we'll be making our picks for Chicago. So stay tuned. Everybody, welcome back. We're going to be making our picks for the Chicago Street Course this weekend. It is the third year that they will be running the street course. It's 2.1 miles and it's got 12 turns in Grant Park. And this will most likely be the last race on the contract for the Chicago Street Course. Yep, I know.
I'm sad about it.
It's a fun track, but
I love it. I want it forever.
Yep. But I think it's time for NASCAR to move on, go venture out to other cities, and go bring more fans to NASCAR. People in San Diego, maybe not a big NASCAR fan base, maybe they will be next year. Who knows? But I'm excited for this last race here.
But I'm sad about it, and I'll probably go to San Diego next year just to keep crying about it.
All right, well, guys, let's get into the Xfinity Series race. We got the Loop 110 mile race, 50 laps. Stage 1 is 15, Stage 2 is 15 as well, and the final will be 20 laps. The past winners, we had Cole Custer winning in 2023, and SVG won here last season. Some big notables in this one. SVG will be in the 9 for Junior Motorsports. Kaz Grala making his return to NASCAR. He'll be in that 24 for Sam Hunt Racing, so can't wait to see him come back into a stock car. So guys, it is my pick. I'm going up first, and I gotta go with the dangerous man of Shane Van Gisbergen. Won the inaugural Cup Series race, won the Xfinity Series race last year. Let's go 3 years in a row and winning in the Chicago.
All right.
We really swung big with that one.
Yep. I mean, come on. It's Shane Van Gisbergen in Chicago. Man, I'd be so stupid if I did not pick him.
I mean, yeah, everybody, you would be, if you did not pick him, there would be, we would have to evaluate you mentally just to see what's going on in there for not picking him. But yeah, that's a great pick. And I'm going next, and I'm going to pick the guy who's probably going to be his only competition throughout the day, his Junior Motorsports teammate, Connor Zilich. We know Zilly on these road courses is super stout. So I really expect this to be a really fun battle between Van Gisbergen and Zilich. It should be like it was last year when it was Kyle Larson versus SVG. I think it's just going to be a great show, and it's pretty much those two versus the field.
it's going to be confusing because they're running mirrored paint schemes.
Yeah.
So they're going to come around and be like, "Oh, look, Shane's in front. No, it's Connor this time. No, Shane's in front. No, Connor this." So since you guys picked those two, can I pick like 5 guys?
Yeah, right.
I it still won't matter. No, I'm gonna go with the big brain move, maybe a smooth brain move. I don't know, but uh, you got to pick a junior motorsports car, and I'm gonna pick the one that I remember being really impressed with at another road course at Coda, the number one, Carson Quaffle. I Why not?
Yeah.
There's some concrete on here. He's a short track guy, different surfaces. I'm really stretching for it here, but you guys are gonna finish 1-2, so it doesn't matter who I pick. So I'm just feeling Carson Quaffle. I think he might put on a good show, and
It's
I
it's
don't know.
not a bad pick because he's shown promise at these road courses. He's been showing a lot of speed lately. Still kind of getting into some trouble, but who knows? Maybe you could make it work out.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should have tried less hard last week to guarantee myself SVG this week.
Yeah, right.
Like I
That's
said, all
that's the
it
biggest
takes,
brain
we
play
know,
because
we know
because
Connor's good.
ugh.
Tank the week
We
before so
know
you
Connor
can.
Zolich in these races.
Yeah, where are we going
We
next
know
week for
Zolich
that?
in these races where he's supposed to perform well at. He just sometimes gets a little too into his head and he starts driving a little bit recklessly because he puts so
Coda
much
in the
pressure
trucks.
on himself. Yep, he puts
Coda in the
so much
trucks.
pressure on himself to win at these kind of tracks because he knows that he's pretty much expected to go out there and win. So that is the only thing that could come into play, and he could wipe both him and SVG out of the race, and then it's a battle of who's going to get
Oh
from
yeah,
there.
they take each other out and then I win.
Yeah, there you go.
So all right,
Very, very
I'm sticking
possible.
with it. Sticking with it. Why not?
All right. Well, let's move over to Sunday for the Grant Park 165, 165-mile rate, 165 miles, 75 laps. Stage 1 is 20 laps, stage 2 is 25, and the final will be 30 laps. Our previous winners here, SVG won the inaugural race, and Alex Bowman won here last season. Notables: Will Brown, Australian supercar driver, will be in that 13 for Colleague Racing, so can't wait to see him come back up here. Austin Hill making a weird attempt at the Chicago Street Race in the 33 for RCR, and Corey Heim will be in that 67 for 2311 Racing. Um, so guys, unfortunately, I do have the first pick again for the Cup Series race.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
Unfortunately
unfortunately,
for
Oh,
you guys,
unfortunately.
ugh,
I'm going once again with Shane Van Gisbergen, the king of the Chicago streets. I mean,
you don't want to pick another road course superstar, Catherine Legg, with
Yeah.
Motorsports. You sure?
yeah, no.
Throwing that out there. Okay, okay, that's fair. That's fair. Well, I get to go second. I'm gonna go out on a limb again. I don't think we need to talk about how good SVG is at this track anymore. I'm gonna go out on a limb. He is around the time that you earn your first Cup Series win. He has a not new crew chief on the box, kind of, and he raced really well at Mexico City until he lost track position because of strategy. Chris Gabehart is on the box of the 54, helping them with strategy to try to get that fourth car into the playoffs. Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs could go out and beat Shane. He was the only one that had anything for
Yeah,
Shane.
that was
So
just that. Yeah, that's a great pick
I
because he was
that's
the only one. He would have been the only
I'm
one.
calling this win for Chris Gabehart, not for Ty Gibbs. Chris Gabehart can will this car to the front and make the right decisions to keep this car competitive throughout the race. Ty Gibbs.
Jeez, Nick, do you think that would make Connor move out here? I mean, he's already a Cubs fan. He likes the Blackhawks, and if Ty Gibbs wins
Yeah,
his first
right.
race in Chicago, I think he might just that will make him move out from Virginia to Chicago.
I that would be the only reason that I would accept a Ty Gibbs win is if it gets him to move out here.
Yeah,
That would
right.
be the only reason. All right. Well, I got the last pick, and we talk about how great that SVG is on the streets of Chicago. But really, if you go back the last 2 years, there's a guy who probably should have won both of these races, but didn't because of some untimely, some rain coming down, and that's the 20 car Christopher Bell. Christopher Bell looks so stout here The first year we were here, he looked, and then the rain came, and then they said we're shortening it. Right after they pitted, they said they were shortening the race, and he was just like, "Are you pretty much?
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me? Like that was their strategy. Gone." And then he never recovered. And last year he was looking like he was going to be in position again. Had a similar issue, and so he's just really good here. And he started off the season red hot, and he's just kind of been in no man's land for the last couple months. So I look for the 20 to get back on top here. And this is probably the last year of Chicago Street Court, and I think he deserves one here because he has had some real bad misfortune while pretty much dominating these races. So I'm gonna go with 20, Christopher Bell.
Dude, the streets
You
all in
didn't look
one.
at the forecast because there's more rain on the way Sunday.
Uh,
So
Go figure, man. Go
maybe
figure.
Adam Stevens will
Chicago,
prepare for it.
Dad, you're not cursed. Chicago is cursed. My dad's convinced that he's cursed. Anytime we go to a Cup Series race, because again, he'll point at Rockingham, no Cup Series, not a single drop of. There probably wasn't even a dew point. Probably no moisture anywhere near that place. But we got a Cup race. He thinks he's going to bring more rain. So
Oh
yeah,
man. Yeah, unfortunately, if you're going to be hosting a NASCAR race, you have 80% chance of rain every single weekend. It
especially
doesn't
one
matter.
that has a 3-year window.
Yeah, right. We'll
Last
never get the
weekend
full race in.
was beautiful here in Chicago. Next weekend might be beautiful here in Chicago, but this weekend, it's going to happen, and I'm so
Will
sad.
not.
Never got its chance. Something I'm also excited for. They showed up at work today. 2 of the EV prototypes were showed up at where I work today, and they were doing a feature on the local news. And apparently at 10:15, 10:30 on Sunday, they're going to put David Reagan, Raja Caruth, and
Yep.
Brett Cruz in them, and they're actually going to race these things for the first time. The engineer told me they are going to send them. Maybe not full bore, but he said they're going to send them and let those guys go race. I asked him, I said, is it going to look like the Wienermobile race at Indy? He said no. He said they're going to send them. They're going to race. So
Cool.
that'll be something to look out for. That'll be very cool to see.
All right, yeah. Something to look out for. Well, guys, I think that'll about wrap it up for us here at the Stock Car Spectacle. You guys got any closing thoughts before NASCAR heads to the streets of Chicago for maybe one more time?
Yeah, it's just sad because we talked about it a little bit last week. When they first announced that this was happening, I was the biggest hater of it. I said this is a terrible idea. It's going to be a shit show. And then I was amazed by it, and I think it was a lot of fun for the last 2 years. And I think they're gonna. I really hope they get the opportunity to put on a full show because I think it's going to be really good, and it'll be a really good send off. But yeah, it will be missed. But I hope for this brings us a return to Joliet. So if that's what we get, if that's our trade off, that is a trade I will accept in a
Yes.
Yeah,
heartbeat.
we got to keep in mind, as sad as I am about the street race, I mean, I'm spoiled. It's literally blocks away from where I'm living. I can wake up in the morning and walk to the track. I've been seeing them build it. It's been so much fun. And it's been a fun little experiment they've done here. But again, if it does go away, NASCAR still owns Joliet. Carson, host of our, showed us that it just needs some TLC. They can fix it all up, and it would put on another great race. They're not going to leave the Chicago area. I can't imagine they would. So there's the silver lining there. And if it means I can go to San Diego for the second race or the third race of the year, why not? I need a vacation to San Diego in February. Let's go.
Hey, there you go. All right, guys. Well, that will do it for us here at the Stock Car Spectacle. If you haven't yet, make sure to like our video and subscribe to our channel and comment down below who you think is going to win at Chicago this weekend. So, guys, have fun watching the races for the Stock Car Spectacle. I'm Ian Jortson.
I'm Nick Kinzel.
I'm Tom Hopland.
We'll see you guys next time. Enjoy Chicago.